This is Python's Paradise. This is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena, straight out of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, but rocking a beautiful Toronto background behind me. Because, folks, I was just in Toronto 2 weeks ago for a week's vacation, and on the way, I went to Niagara Falls for Frightmare in the Falls, my fifth year in attendance. And I met my guest for today. Here we are on November the 8th, 2025. And of course, one of the big things that we have honored this year is the 50th anniversary of my shirt, Jaws. And it is fighting with my background, but here we are. Got a beautiful Jaws t-shirt. Jaws is fighting a losing battle against Toronto there.
I was eating up Jaws.
There you go. There you go. But folks, I saw Jaws twice for its 50th anniversary this year, and it's actually a grand total of 5 times in total. I've seen it in theaters, not on its initial release because I would have been 3 years old in 1975, but I have seen it since. Folks, I'll give you somebody who took the old water raft out there, inflated it up, and it turned out to be a bad decision, or maybe a good decision, because this guy has turned that into a lot of things for himself, and he's going to talk about that on here today. Folks, I give you the awesome Alex Kettner himself, Jeffrey Voorhees. How do you do, Jeffrey?
Oh, I am doing fine considering I've been dead for 50 years.
Not to be confused with Jason Voorhees. Do you get that joke any?
We have a restaurant here I still live on Martha's Vineyard, Amity Island, and our restaurant, people would come in. Oh, I know your name. You're in a movie, Voorhees. It's like, and for years, it's like when I used to hide from it, it's people would go, that name, you're in a movie. And I go, okay, are we talking about the killer or the one that was killed? And they go, the killer, Jason Voorhees. It's like wrong movie. If they say the one that was killed, okay, yes, I was eaten by a shark.
Yeah, that must have been a pain in the neck whenever the Friday the 13th movies started to take off.
Well, it's funny because I used to hide from the signings, and the people I signed with for a while, it's like they do a lot of the Friday the 13th people. So like Adrian, she's in Friday the 13th, and Larry, he's Jason Voorhees. And they're like people when I hid from those signings for years and I started doing it, people wearing hockey shirts with Voorhees on it. And I got to know Larry and these guys. I go, look at this. I'm in a movie for 1 minute. These people wearing hockey shirts with my name on it. And he's like, yeah, idiot, that's my name, character's name in the movie. And it's funny. Anytime we do signings together, they usually put us at the same table, the killer Voorhees and the Voorhees that was killed.
Actually, Larry wasn't Jason, but he was the one in part three who initiated the hockey mask because Jason wore a sack over his head in the second film, you know?
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they're really sweet people, Adrian, and got to know them. And so you do signings with Friday the 13th people. So I know those guys pretty good.
I've actually had Adrian on the show here, so she was my second ever guest. I've been doing this since 2015. So I've gotten to interview a lot of people since then, but she was my very second guest in 2015. And I met Adrian at Frightmare in the Falls as well. So, but always liked her. I'm very happy to have had her on the show.
Yeah, they we did a signing together and they had a this one they had like a Jaws she wanted to get in the photo with us. So there's two
Hmm.
of them. They said, okay, well, let's get the Jaws photo. And they came in. I'm trying to find the shark's mouth here. Where are these guys? Adrienne, where is she? Oh, here we go. Oh, where I'm not sure if you can see this. Let's see.
Oh yeah.
So there's the in the shark's mouth, those two Friday the 13th, and you got Richard Dreyfuss, Susan before she passed away, me, Kramer, and Richard Dreyfuss's wife. And so it's like, but it's like Adrian and those guys, we want to get in the Jaws photo. So they got in the shark's mouth with me.
Oh, that's was that Amy Steele with her?
Yeah.
Okay, yep. She has a lot of signings with her. I am trying to bring up your photo here. I have it in my don't want to show it off here for people.
I'm gonna grab one thing here.
Okay. I found all I needed. Okay. Some of them decided to stick around in the there we go. Found it. Anyway, how you doing today? How's
Oh,
the weather where you're at?
it was raining earlier, and I just got back from running a dog on the beach where I got eaten 50 years ago. State
Yeah.
Town Oakless Bridge. I run a big Saint Bernard down there every day. So people are like, aren't you afraid she's going to get eaten by a shark? Pippet was a black lab. This one, she weighs 150 pounds. I go, I don't think the shark could swallow her. She's too big.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, you signed this one for me, and I love the little dots of red you put on there for blood.
There's so much blood making the movie, so I always put blood on my autographs.
I think that's awesome. Very creative. Now, where did you come up with that? Should be an easy come up, but Jossum, you're the first time I ever heard that said. Now, when did that dawn on you?
Oh, people go, that was an awesome movie. And then want to put a website together. More people, oh, that's awesome. And then even like, oh, someone was having a birthday party at one of the restaurants on the island. They're big Jaws fans, and they had these napkins on the table.
Oh, beautiful.
They say Jawsome. It's like, oh my God. It's like, so I always write Jawsome, or if I'm doing a cameo, have a Jawsome birthday today from the dead Alex Kentner.
There you go. There you go.
But
Well,
that movie's 50 years old, and that's how long, pretty much when we moved to this island. I still live here. We just moved down to Martha's Vineyard that year, and word got out they're making a movie. They need a lot of extras. They'll pay you $40 a day to be in the movie. And we were just little kids. I was 12 years old. It's like, let's go sign up. And we just walked down to this hotel where you just sign up to make 40 bucks a day. I didn't know the name of the movie or anything, but gonna be in a movie, make 40 bucks. And then a couple days later, get a call back, and I had to go back to the hotel. It's walking distance. It's a small island, Amity Island, Martha's Vineyard. So I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be an extra. So I go down there, and Spielberg and a few other people were in this one room. And Spielberg was only 27. He was pretty young, and it's one of his first big movies. And he's like, okay, read these highlighted lines. I'm like, to be an extra? Okay. And I'm reading a couple things, and he goes, okay, fill out all this paperwork. I'm like, all this to be an extra? He goes, no, that's to join SAG, Screen Actors Guild. You got to be a part of the union if you're going to get a speaking part. You're going to get a speaking part, but you'll get $140 a day. It's like, oh, okay. And so I had to join Screen Actors Guild, but I still didn't know the name of the movie, and I didn't know I was going to die, but I was going to get $140 a day. But then later on, I found out, oh, I'm going to get eaten by a shark.
it must be when you tell that story. Do you ever reflect back on that and think, wow, at that very moment, you had no idea that 50 years later, you're going to be talking about this movie? It became the first movie to top 100 million at the box office.
Yeah, no, it's when that first came out, people are like, oh, where'd you watch it? And the town hall where Quint comes in and scratches the chalkboard.
Yeah.
we just moved to the island. That's actually the town hall in Edgartown. Now it looks the same. It says Edgartown Town Hall. In the movie, they put Amity over Edgartown. And like I just voted in there a couple months ago, and you walk down that hallway, it looks exactly the same in the movie where he scratches. But then we moved to the island. They had a little movie theater in that town, Edgartown, and it had burnt down before I got here. It was an empty lot with a burnt down building years ago. And so they used to show movies above the town hall, this big studio area. So that's where I saw myself die. So it's funny when you're watching the movie where he's walking in the town hall. It's like we're on the second floor of the town hall watching the first time I saw myself get eaten in the movie theaters.
Wow. So you're still on the now. How many others from the cast live on that island?
With their name in the credits,
Yeah.
no one.
Oh,
That
you're the only one.
Yeah, the lady that was my mother in the movie, Lee Farrow, she was a sweetie. She kind of lived on the island. She did a lot of Broadway plays. And Kramer, the deputy, his family has a house here, and he lives in California now. But I see him a lot. He was down here for the Jaws 50th.
Yeah.
They rent out their house here. But the only one that's kind of people, the guy Searles, the two kids with the big fin,
Yep.
they live on the younger one lives on the island. He's the chief of police in one of the towns here. And
Okay.
he's the one that says he made me do it, but they didn't make him join SAG, so he never got royalties and he never did signings or anything. I hid from it too for years. And finally this year, when Richard came down and Matt, the guy that does Richard signings, I do them with those guys too. That's Susan did them with her, and Susan passed away unfortunately. She was a sweetie, and that's where um, this guy Matt's like, oh, what's his name? The Searle brothers, and because Susan wasn't there, so he spoke to him and got that. Hey, come on, we'll fly you there. He did his first signing here on the island, and the guy I do it with and Richard, they tried it. They went down to Tampa, the Shark Con down there. And they're like, oh, this is pretty good. His brother lives out in North Carolina. He was in the military. So, and they both just did the one in Niagara Falls. So it's like, yeah, yeah, you make a couple dollars, you have fun, you get a lot of Jaws people that, at first I used to hide from it, but you go to those signings and you make a few bucks, but you get some people like are so happy. It's like, so you make some people so happy. It's like you get a little high off of that too.
Yeah. I started doing the conventions in 2017, 2 years after I started this podcast, and I was invited to my first one by a Canadian actress, and we got talking about travel, and she asked what was stopping me, and she invited me to assist her at her table at Horrorama at the time. She's since been at Frightmare in the Falls. I'm talking about Lisa Langlois, a Canadian actress from the movie Class of 1984 and Happy Birthday to Me, among others. And and through her, I got my passport, and I did Chiller in New Jersey.
I've done that a few times.
Yeah, yeah. So far, my first and only time right now that I've been in the States. I was lucky to be able to do that one with my schedule. I work between 70 and 80 hours a week as a cleaner. So a lot of times it's hard for me to get away, but I do try to book vacation time for a couple of conventions because I enjoy attending them. But through her, she introduced me to this, and I was like, "Wow, this is fantastic," And whereas I work overnights, I don't see many people, so this is me seeing a lot of people.
Yeah.
And yeah, but anyway, I had a great time. That was my fifth uh, time attending Frightmare in the Falls, and you were there with that inflatable raft there, and had your information because I took that photo. There you go.
I got eaten.
Oh my, that is cool. Now, where did you get that done?
A couple of years ago, I was down in Key West and someone got a hold of me. He runs one of these Jaws 50th Club, Michael. And he
Hmm.
got a hold of me down in Tampa, Key West, like 3 years ago. He's like, Mr. Voorhees, big fan. We have a Jaws club. Can you and then he goes, I put little uh oh, these things on the computer that we set up websites, and I would love if I could set up a website for you, maybe to sell autograph photos or something. And I go, oh, I was thinking about doing that because I'm not working that much. I got some time now. And he's like, I go, how much you charge for this? What's your company charge? He goes, no, it'd be an honor. Can I just give it a try? And I go, okay, you need some information? He goes, oh, let me just try something and I'll get back to you. And I'm thinking, what? I thinking he'd want to know where I was born and everything about the movie. And then when he put it together, he finally got back to me. He goes, take a look at it. And you go in there, you hit bio, and it says where I was born, when I moved to the island. It's like, how does people know all this with computers now? It's funny. It's like, and that's where he's like, oh, let me try to find. He found someone that made the raft, someone in Miami with the bite mark. And this year with the Jaws 50th, I usually get like 15 or 20 a year. I got like 100 of them this year just because I just mail one to Japan, one over to Australia. It's like you mail Jaws stuff all over the world.
There you go. Now, the woman that played your mom, I understand she passed away during the pandemic, did she not?
She did. Unfortunately, she was in a nursing home somewhere near Detroit and
Mhm.
she got COVID. This is before the
Oh,
vaccines and that was the worst place to be in a nursing home. And people were mad at her family that they had her in a nursing home. But unfortunately, because she was a sweetie, that lady, Lee Fierro, I would get to know her over the years. You see her, you wouldn't see her for years, and all of a sudden she came in a restaurant once. I go, ah, shit, there's Lee Fierro, my mother in the movie. I've not seen her in years. It's a little old lady and her friend. It's in the spring. There's only a few tables. So I told the waitress, I have this table. I went down like I'm a server. I go, hello, ladies. And Lee Farrell's looking at the menu, and her friend's like, I go, anything I get for you guys? And her friend goes, yes, can I get? And she starts ordering. I go, okay, before we go any further, can I ask you guys a personal odd question? Tell me to go away if it's too strange. And her friend's like, what? And then all of a sudden, Lee Farrell, she heard me and she looks up and goes, oh, yes, of course. What? And she knew it was me, but she's going along with my little joking around. I go, well, it's a little odd, but any chance, do you guys believe in reincarnation? Because I think I died years ago and you look like my mother in my previous life. And a friend looks at me like, what the hell? And all of a sudden, Lee Fair, her eyes light up. She's like, oh my God, I had a son that died back in the 70s. She goes, how did you die? And her friend looks at her then like, what the hell? And I'm like, oh, I was only a little kid, but it was in the ocean. And she's like, well, did you drown? I go, no, I think I was killed. She goes, well, were you run over by a boat? I go, no, I have a feeling it was an animal. I think I was eaten by an animal. She goes, oh my God, any chance, was it a great white? I go, I was 12, but I think I was eaten by a shark. And she's like, oh, you're my son. And she gets up and hugs me. And her friend's about to have a heart attack. And she's like, hey, we were in that movie years ago. It's like, she was a sweetie. So it's anytime you saw her, I did like Obama and Clinton came to the island every year. And I was on Good Morning America with her once. They want, oh, your mother in the movie is going to do it. Will you do it? So I did it with her, and she was always sweet to be with. Same thing with Susan, because I met up with Chrissy a lot in the movie, but
yeah.
Susan's her full name. And you meet up. She lived on a sailboat out in California. I see her a few times a year, and she was always fun to be with.
Yeah. Well, I had fun at Frightmare in the Falls. I'm glad you made it out because I know I know last year there was you and Richard and Jeffrey were supposed to come out and there was cancellations by all three of you. And I remember you was telling me yesterday that had something to do with the person booking you guys that you and Kramer ended up canceling, but I'm glad this year they doubled that to six people, and
Well, not all six showed up.
no. Yeah, I had a photo op plan with the Jaws cast and one with Richard Dreyfuss, and I was at my hotel on Niagara Falls, and I just kind of just woke up and I just kind of looked at my phone to see what time it was, and I noticed I had an email, so I looked at the email. We're very sorry, but Richard Dreyfuss was not on on his flight from Buffalo, and I'm like, oh my goodness, not a second year in a row.
Nah, that's he's famous for that lately. Some people get upset, but yeah, he's getting older. He's really nice. Like he couldn't make the one in Florida, and he sent out a thing on the website because he did get like COVID after the 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 50th anniversary. But it's always fun to meet up with him and like you meet up with Joe Alves and these guys. It's always before I used to hide from Jaws, and they find every year these people come in. Come on, we'll fly you there. You just sign photos. You'll have a good time. Give it a shot. It's like I'm too busy. Go away. And I would never do it for years. And then finally, it's like, okay, I'll try it once. It was down in New York, the one you've been at, and they fly you there and then they pay you in cash. So you make some money and they fly you. It's like you meet up with some real actors, you have eat, drink, and be merry. And so I go, you know what? This is pretty fun. I'll do this 3 or 4 times a year. So since for about 8 years now, I've done it like 3 times a year. And they fly all over and you get to know some real actors and it's fun. It's like, okay, I'm in a movie for a minute, but I know a lot of those, Adrian from Friday the 13th, she's a sweetie, and
Hmm.
Larry, all those guys. And then you go to some parties up in a hotel room and there's oh, you know, some of these guys, 48 hours, some of these actors, it's like, oh God, you guys are here again. Or I think, one, Alice Cooper was next to Richard, Susan, and I at one of them. And,
Oh wow.
and Richard and Alice Cooper, people wait like 4 hours for their autographs. But it's all for being a little kid here on Martha's Vineyard because this the water here is so cold. And filming that movie, people always say, "Were you afraid of the shark?" And it's like, no, I was afraid of freezing my 12-year-old ass off in that water because this water here, you don't want to swim in this until at least July. And they were trying to get this done in May before it got busy on the island. So that water is freezing cold. And at first, I didn't even have to go in the water. I did, when I found I was going to get eaten by a shark, there's one beach, they call it State Beach. It's kind of shallow where the bridge where the shark goes under.
Hmm.
And Spielberg goes, beg to go in the water, and all those nice little beach houses and the hot dog stand, they had them tied down because if it was windy, they'd blow away. They're all fake. And that's where Spielberg goes, okay, now you got to beg to go in the water. And when your mother, Lee Farrell, lets you go back in, you get your raft, run to the water, and you're done. It's like, okay, I don't have to go in the water. This is great. I'm making 140 a day. And all my friends, he goes, are on the beach, my brother and everyone. He goes, now when he gets on the raft, starts going in the water, you guys all go in the water. And it was so shallow, he told all the kids, get on your knees and start playing, throwing the ball around, but stay on your knees the whole time to make the water look deeper. And then he goes, and stay out there until we stop filming. And they're getting $40 a day. I'm getting 140. And I run to the water. I don't have to go in that cold water. It's like, have fun, you guys. You're getting paid 40. I'm getting 100 more than you. I don't have to go in the damn water. And in Oak Bluffs, further down where it's nice and shallow, where they have the mechanical shark, like a lot of the shark scenes, like in People magazine, Spielberg's in the shark's mouth in one of the shots. And but the shark scenes, Oak Bluffs Harbor, it's nice and shallow at the end. And at first they had a mannequin the size of it looked just like me, a little kid on the raft. And,
Hmm.
Spielberg goes, you beg to go in, and when you get out near that, when you get to the water, you're done. And then they go, okay, in Oak Bluffs, they have the mechanical shark, and they go, okay, the shark's gonna come up and bite this little mannequin that looked just like me. And back in the 70s, horror movies, King Kong, Godzilla, real scary movies. This one, it's a 12-year-old kid on a raft, and the shark comes up and bites this mannequin. The head's spinning up in the air, the arms and legs are going every direction, and they're like, and blood everywhere. They're like, people will leave this movie if we leave this on here. We can't do this. And that's where Spielberg comes back and says, change your plans. You're going to have to go back in that water because like this scene here,
Uh-huh.
that's they didn't use it. And like you see a little strip of land in the background. You don't
Yeah.
see the movie because that's in the harbor in Oak Bluffs. And that's where that would have been in the movie if they used it, but they said it's too gory. And then Spielberg's like, change your plans. You're gonna have to go back in the water and then swim out to about 20 yards out. There was this big barrel just near the top of the water. You couldn't really see it from the shore. And there's a like a wheel behind it. And like on the wheel, right under the water on each side, there's like a fin connected to this wheel that turns. And they go swim out to that barrel, and then we'll say cut. So now I have to go in that cold water. It's like, oh, damn it. It's like, so I swim out on my raft. All my friends are on the in the water playing around and they're filming. And then it goes cut. And they had a raft that was cut in half. And they pulled it over this barrel full of blood. And then he goes, okay, now we're going to start, you're going to lie on top of it and we're going to start filming. And when it explodes, go into water and stand in there as long as you can. So you're 12 years old, freezing your little ass off, lying on this thing that's going to explode. And the first time, bam, blood shooting up your nose and your eyes, your ear. And I go into water, freeze my little ass off. I come ashore and I go to Spielberg. Are we all set? And he was, wanted everything perfect. He's like, no, your arm came out of the water a little. We're going to have to do it again. And it would take 7 hours for that blood to clear out. And he told all the kids, you guys do whatever you want for 5 hours, but everyone come back in 5 hours and we'll try it again. And we're all freezing cold because this is back in the spring where it's cold out there. And we're stuck there. There's no buses. We got dropped off there. So we're all standing outside freezing cold. And someone comes up to me and goes, Jeff, it's too cold out here. And further down they had these little dressing rooms and bathrooms. They go, let's go inside where it's warm. This is too cold out here. And they put a little robe on me, give me a bottle of water. He like, you're part of SAG. We got place. This is where the part of the deal is. You go in here, and all my friends are freezing cold, and I go inside where it's nice and warm because I screwed up. I felt bad the first day, and then day two comes around. Oh, your leg came out of the water. Day three, your arm came out of the water. And that's where I'm waving to my friends, see you guys later. I'm going where it's warm. And then day four, your leg came out. And then day five, Spielberg goes, okay, change of plans. This is taking too long, like everything else in the movie. He goes, this time when that thing explodes, we got two guys in wetsuits. They each have their own air tank, and they're going to have an extra one for you. And when that explodes, each one's going to grab one of your legs, lift you in and out of the water a few times, and then pull you under and give you air. So it's like, so this time it's like that scene that's in the movie where the
Yeah.
blood's up in the air. It seems
Uh-huh.
like my mouth's like, I'm like gasping for air. I already got pulled under once. I know I'm going underwater again. So you try to get air. It's like, and they pull you under, and then finally they give you air. And I'm thinking, okay, something's wrong. I go ashore. I go the Spielberg. I go, okay, we're gonna try it again soon. He goes, no, that was perfect. We're all done. So it took 5 days for me to die, and but it was just everything took so long. Either somebody's too drunk and didn't show up at filming it, or the shark broke down a lot, and there's one part of the scene there where the girl, the artist, she was supposed to be up in Canada at Niagara Falls at the signing, the one that says shark,
Yeah.
shark.
Carla, yeah.
She, that jetty, that little one there, Brody runs across that bridge in the movie, and there's a few people on the bridge, and then he jumps out on the jetty and runs down to where I got eaten. And they didn't notice it until they got back to California. They go, Spielberg, we're gonna have to go back and refilm this. And he's like, what are you talking? Supposed to be 2 or 3 months, and it went like over 8 months. They were here longer than they expected, more expensive. And he's like, what are you talking about? He goes, and they show it like nowadays, if you see something on the screen, they go scratch it, erase it on a computer. When he runs across the bridge, um, next time you see it, or maybe you already know it, when he's running across the bridge, you see a black lab. It's Pippet, and Pippet just got eaten. And you can see him in that scene after when Brody's running across, and Pippet died right before me. So that's where they go on. Spielberg's like, "What are you talking about?" And they go, "There's that dog. It just got eaten by the shark. We're gonna have to go back and refilm it." And Spielberg was like, "You know what? it's taking too long. He's like, there's a lot of black labs in the country. He's like, there's no proof that's Pippet. Just leave it and don't mention it to anyone. And so for years, no one even recognized it. And finally, word got out. It's like, and I would do signings after I started doing those like 8 years ago. And when I did them with Susan, she was a sweetie. She had me trained. She would always write her name and write first victim. And then I would write my name and write second victim. And the real Jaws nuts would be going, wait a minute, you're not the second victim. What about Pippet? And because Pippet was the second one eaten by the shark. And that's before I knew about Pippet still on the bridge. So now I was the second one. So the way I signed him with Susan, legit, because Pippet's still on the bridge.
There you go. Why not? Happy times for Pippin.
Well, there's a lot of little, you notice things in the movie. It's funny when you lived here. It's like they were filming this in May, and this island, it's just like where you are. The leaves, if you're further inland away from the coast or further south, the leaves are out in May. And they're filming that like in May. And so you look at the scenes where the parades and stuff, it's like half the trees don't even have leaves on them yet. And it's supposed to be July 4th weekend. It's like little things like that, or the parade scene, it's all going the wrong way that the regular traffic goes. Or you know where the shark bites the guy's leg and the foot hits the ground? When he bites the leg, you see the guy's foot kicking around, swimming. And when it hits the ground, there's a sneaker on it. It's like, how'd that sneaker get on there? Just little things like that. It's funny watching it. It's filming it like, that parade scene where the kids are banging on the drums.
Hmm.
We just moved to the island and I was in that band. I played the drums. And I just
Okay.
just moved here and they hired the Eggertown Boys and Girls Club, the marching band to be in that scene. And Spielberg told all the kids, I'm one of them. They go, let's all meet down in this parking lot. We'll practice tomorrow for that parade scene. And I show up and we're all down there practicing. And Spielberg sees me and he goes, Jeff, what are you doing over here? I'm like, I'm in the band. He goes, you can't be in this scene. I go, why? I'm not dead yet. And he's like, no, you've got an important part. Not too long after this parade scene, you're going to get eaten by the shark. And people will spot that out and they'll start saying, there's Alex Kinder. He's going to die the next scene. It's like, he goes, no, it's just going to be confusing. People are going to spot you out in there. And he goes, you can't do it. And it's a small town. He was young and we would see him all the time. I'd run up to him. Come on, I'm not dead yet. You got to let me be in it. I'm in the band. He's like, no, no. And the day two, come on, Steven, I'm still alive. And finally, I think after 3 times doing it, he's like, okay, I give up. You're still alive. You haven't been eaten yet. Go ahead. You can be in it. So he let me be in that scene. And like no one knew about it, but now with computers, every 4th of July, people are on websites and they circle the little kid with long hair in the parade. There's Alex Kidner. He's going to die in the next scene. It's like a little different nowadays with computers.
There you go. There
I
you
mean, every
go.
year that same date, people are like, oh, we're thinking of you. You've been gone another year. Remembering, it's like, oh God, every year it's like, we're thinking of you. It's like, but no, it was fun making it and never knew about royalties or anything. My brother lives in Portugal. I get a little text. Good news, you just died on TV over here. It's like you get a little check mailed to you. There's not much on those things, but it's fun. It's just funny. Someone came in our restaurant. They were from England, and the waitress goes, "Oh, they got something they want you to sign." And people would come in for years with photos, and I'd sign a photo for them before I got into these things. And they had the bottom half of a universal check that it looks like a regular paycheck when it's on TV. It was like 1981, and the whole bottom half of a check that I tore off, I cashed the top, and they had the bottom half, Universal Studios, episode Jaws, CBS, my name, the last four of my social security, how much the check was for, like 1,400 or whatever, how much I paid taxes, union dues, part I threw away. And I go, where the hell did you get this? And they were from England. Oh, I think we got a good deal on it. It's like, it was 1981. And this is like 6 years ago they brought it in. I go, where'd you get this? And they're like, oh, we got it on eBay. I think we got a good deal. I'm like, how much did you pay for something I threw away back in 1981? And they're like, oh, I think we got a good deal. We got it for 7,800. And it's like, oh my God. It's like I don't throw them away anymore. I mean, we bring them to the signings and do silent auctions and stuff at those things. It's, someone wants it. They go, if the check's not over 100, don't cash it. We'll do a silent auction and you can sign the whole check and let them keep it.
Oh, wow.
Well, we've done that in England, a silent auction. It's a check for $48, and whoever bids the biggest, they come back the final day. I sign the check. They can keep the whole thing. I'll take a picture holding it with them. I think that one, the $48, they paid like 1,400 for it or something. All for dying.
Talk about the special effects working during that scene. You get the blood and with the raft and whatnot. How badly drenched did you get for that? Talk about the process of doing that.
Well, that's where Spielberg, he's like, swim out to that raft, and this thing blows up, and the water's freezing cold. So, but you're lying on this thing that it's going to explode. And I've done when you do those signings, I would anytime they do Q&As, and anytime I did one with Susan, they always have us in there together because she got eaten by a shark and I got eaten by a shark. And she would be like talking, oh, I don't think they would let this happen anymore. I was just a 27-year-old young lady, and her neck was screwed up for years because they had ropes tied to her waist and they were pulling her back and forth. And her neck was so screwed up. She goes, my neck, it was so messed up for years. And then she points over, and this guy, he was a 12-year-old little kid on a line on this machine that's going to explode. And she's like, I don't think they let that happen anymore. A 27-year-old young lady and a 12-year-old kid lying on something that it's going to explode. So it's funny. She would always laugh about that to say that I don't think they let that happen anymore in filming.
I never had the pleasure of meeting Susan, and she did Chiller. Chiller happens twice a year. I did it in April 2024 with Lisa Langlois. And I think Susan was there that October, and that was the last one before she passed. I reached out to her, but she never got back to me. But I would have loved to have had her on the show, but I never got to meet her. But what I found really fascinating with her, you want to talk about a good sport. She does this scene where she skinny dips and is attacked by Jaws. And 4 years later, and I still laugh at this to this day, Spielberg casts her again in 1941 in the opening scene and she does the same thing, gets in and skinny dips, only instead of a shark, it's that submarine. And she's like clutching the top. Did you see that?
Yes, I mean she was a sweetie because I would always, you know, she was people love that one part where she gets dragged back. And like that never would have happened, but that shark broke down so much because when they put that shark together, it was perfect. Because at first when they would go, we need a at first they said, we'll train a shark, and you're not training a shark. And then they go, find someone to do the mechanical shark. So they went to our Universal. They go, well, we can have something put together in like 4 years. It's going to take some work. And like the book just came out, and they're going, no, we got to get this done quickly. So they tried Disney World because they had a lot of stuff in Disney World quicker. And they're like, yeah, it'd be about a year. And like, we need something quick. And that's where they found Joel's. And it's like, they go, you know, some people. And he knew the guys that like, the sinking of the Titanic. Oh no, is that the one with the squid that's grabbing the giant squid? I think it's that sinking of the Titanic. And this guy, he did that. He had King Kong up on the building, and they talk to him, and they go, we need a mechanical shark that's going to swim back and forth, come in and out of the water. The eyes go back and forth, and we need it quickly. Any chance you could, how long would that take you to do something like that? And he kind of retired already. Then he goes, well, give me a couple of weeks to figure it out. And he comes back like 2 weeks later with the whole design of this shark that runs like on a rail. It looks like a roller coaster. I mean, the little fins, it rolls on this thing under the water. It turns left. It's three different sharks. And he did it all within a month, and he put that together. But putting it together, they were it worked perfect. They were doing it in this pool out in California, and when they got it over here, they put it in salt water, and salt water is not the same as regular water. It broke down all the time, and that shark, it wouldn't work for 10 days, and that's why in the beginning, like Susan's part where, getting dragged, you don't see the shark until like over an hour in the movie because it was broken until like August. And so that's where Spielberg, he he was amazing then. It's his first one of his first big movies because he had a plan around it. The shark didn't work. So the whole first, you don't see the shark until they're pretty much out on the orca. Like my scene, this thing that blows up blood, Susan gets pulled back and forth. The barrels that pop up in the water, you see, and like, how often do you think before that movie you see a couple of yellow barrels pop up, and that's when people get all nervous, or where the dock turns and the guys are putting on the pot roast, and you see the dock turn. You don't see a shark, but the dock's, it's like swim, swim, don't look back, swim. It's like, so he made people nervous without even the shark until the middle of the movie when they finally got it working in August.
You know, Susan, of course, in that great opening scene, that's you get the Jaws music, that theme, that wonderful theme, And you ever recall her talking about, because obviously she also did 1941 for comedic effect, kind of the same scene. Um, had she ever talked about being nude on film and whether it made her uncomfortable or whether she just did it?
No, she did. She was funny. She was a sweetie because we'd always do Q&As and people would always ask her stuff like that. And the funny part is like the scene where I get eaten by the shark, that's where she was going to get it too, near that bridge. And that's where Pippet gets eaten. That's where the dock turns around. And like my scene they were doing first. And you had all the cameramen down there filming and, all the actors, and that's about it. And then when they were doing her scene there a couple days later, everyone, all these horny old guys on the island, and everyone from Universal's down on the beach, ready to watch this. And Spielberg finally like goes, "We got to find a different place." And further down, it's called Cow Bay. It's on the same beach, but it's a private beach. Wait, they ended up doing her scene way down there with give her a little privacy. And she used to laugh about that. She's like, "Oh yeah, everybody," because we were doing a Q&A and like, this little guy was out on the raft. Not too many people came to watch that. Every time they wanted when they were going to do that scene where I got eaten, they go, it was always packed. And finally they said, we got to move it. Just, but it was just funny. Little things like that. It's like, because people are always like, oh, were you afraid of the shit? Afraid. It's like, oh, it's just funny watching it because you point out, there's my brother, there's the house we lived in, or your friends are like, oh, here's where I come around the corner. It's just little things you spot out when you're watching it.
Yeah. Steven Spielberg, of course, still is one of the biggest name directors in Hollywood, and you can, um, Spielberg hits more often than he doesn't. There's not too many films of his that I didn't like, and he's done so many masterpieces, Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Raiders of
Star,
the Lost Ark, E.T. the
Star Trek, yeah.
Extraterrestrial. And Jaws reminded me of, well, I should say Jurassic Park reminded me of Jaws because both have that same kind of dread realism to them, and you can really feel the suspense, like Jaws. You get nervous because you care about the characters. The music, of course, heightens attention. And of course, in Jurassic Park, like, I mean, I'll never forget my heart racing as the raptor is charging at the girl, and she's trying to close this thing, and it turns out it's charging at a reflection. It just bashes into that, and Spielberg managed to avoid Jaws 2, and the Jaws sequels did not measure up to Jaws.
It took a dive.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, he ended up doing the Lost World Jurassic Park, and I think he did it so he could. I'm good guess. I don't know for sure, but I think he did it so he could do Amistad. I don't know. I'm gonna say I think the Lost World Jurassic Park is the worst, if Well, one of the, if not the worst movie I've seen out of Spielberg. And you can tell he's just kind of on autopilot for it. He's delivering the movie, but it has none of the suspense of Jurassic Park. You got characters being idiots in it, and it's all about the dinosaurs, but it's lacking that dread and suspense that you can feel.
Well,
And
it's funny because like Richard Dreyfuss and stuff, Jaws 2 they did down here, and it was, they only did a little on the island, but as Spielberg wanted nothing to do with the next ones, but yeah, Jaws 3, 4, and then they got worse and worse, if people would say. And I never liked the second one because we were all went up to sign up again. They were filming some of it on the island, not much. And we
mhm,
all signed up to be in Jaws too. And someone comes over to me, they tell all the kids, okay, everyone come back tomorrow. We're going to start doing, and they're going down the list of names. They go, wait a minute, Jeff Voorhees? I go, yeah. He goes, wait a minute, you can't be in this. I go, why not? He goes, you died in the first movie. I'm going, I'm older. I look different now. They're like, no, if the media ever found out, you ruined the movie. Go away. It's like, so I got booted. So I didn't like Jaws 2 because of that. But it was funny because when Richard Dreyfuss was down here this summer, if you can see this photo here,
mhm.
who's
Okay, yeah.
there's Richard, Kramer, me, and then Jaws 2. And he's like gets in the photo, and I go, you can't be in this. And he's like, why not? I go, this is for Jaws 1. He goes, I'm in Jaws 2. I go, no, you guys wouldn't let me be in that movie, so you can't be in this photo. It's like just joking around. It's like it's funny. You meet up with these guys. And so it's Jaws 2. They wouldn't let me be in it. So I didn't want him in the photo, but I was just joking around with him. But like Friday, I mean, that movie, the play that came out, The Shark is Broken.
Hmm.
I had never seen that. They tried to get me over down in New York when it first came out. And I couldn't make it. I was doing a signing over in England or something. And then they finally, they go, okay, we have one in England next year. We'll fly over. Just we want you to see it. And they go, wait, we're going to show it down on the vineyard for the Jaws 50th. So when they were down on the island this year, they go, we got to come back to the hotel. We're going to we want to get you in a photo and go back, have a couple of drinks. They were celebrating because they got the play went well. And it was funny. They're like, oh, we got to get a photo of all of us. And it's like, because there's Richard in the movie, I mean the play.
Hmm.
And can you see these guys?
Oh, there you go. Yep.
And it was funny because they're going, you got to get in a photo with us. And I go, wait a minute, this is a little odd. I go, in the movie, I've done photos with, because that's Richard Dreyfuss, Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw. And I've done, when they made the movie, I was in photos with them to promote it. So you got a little Alex Kintner standing I go, this is a little odd. I've done photos with your characters, but back in the last one I did with Richard and Roy Scheider and those guys, I go, I was the youngest one. And this one, I'm the youngest one to die in the movie. I'm the oldest one in this picture. So it's just
That's
funny.
funny. Yeah. No, the Jaws movies just kept going downhill, like a lot of people joke they're like Michael Caine missed his Academy Award win for Hannah and her sisters to film Jaws: The Revenge, and of course Michael Caine's response was, "Well, that movie afforded me my house or whatever it is." So I was like, okay, okay, okay. Glad he's got a sense of humor about it, because the joke was on the rest of us. And of course, they're doing Sharknado movies and stuff like
Oh,
that.
Mego Shark or
Oh yeah,
that one
like you.
that they had a little kid that gets eaten and he has a little tube ring going. I going, oh my God, it's supposed to be me on there. It's like, oh, this is bad. The huge,
Yeah, yeah.
a little
But
different.
yeah, what was it like first seeing Jaws on the big screen?
Well, that's what everyone was like, oh, well, it's like we saw it right where they were filming the movie. They right a small little movie theater, so we thought it was funny. It's like, oh, half the trees don't have leaves, or that parade is coming the wrong way, or here's my friend, there I am, and just pointing out people. And and it's funny because like the shark was broken a lot, and they stored it they have a yacht club, a warehouse that lit right near our house. And back then there's not alarms and cameras. So we used to go down there at night. Okay, this window's open, and we used to climb all over the shark. So you had the left side, the right side, and we'd be in there at nighttime with flashlights, wiggling the teeth, climbing all over this mechanical shark. And one time in Florida at the Shark Con, I had to do a Q&A with Joe Alves, and he was up there. He just had a book out how the shark was broken. So he was signing books at this one. And he's like, and this is right when I started doing these signings. So I really didn't know Joe then. And he's like, yeah, making that shark. I was on that Q&A with him. And he goes, making the shark, it broke down for 10 days in a row. It didn't work so much. And he was going on about how the shark never worked. And then when I first got the microphone, I go, okay, before any questions, I had to come out and tell the truth. I go, we were just little kids, but we used to break in and climb all over that shark all the time. Maybe that's why it didn't work. That's why it was broken. And he looked over like he wanted to kill me. It's like, and now he's used to me. He was at this one on the island, and every time I see him now, I joke around. I go, "So Joe, you bring the shark? I'm bored. I need something to climb on." And he's like, "Get away from me." He's like, so you get to
Yeah,
know people.
I had Joel's on here, and I think at the time, I think he was saying his daughter was getting married or something. I asked if Bruce the Shark was going to be attending the wedding or something, you know. I had him on, I think it was 2017. I had him on. And I had Carl Gottlieb on as well, who was so happy because, of course, he had done Jaws and the Jerk. He was so happy that somebody wanted to talk to him. Yeah, there you go.
That's him. He's in a restaurant. That's the Jaws 50th celebration. He was in here. It's like, it's just
Yeah.
funny. You get to know him, and he looks the same as he's looked the same for years. It's like,
hmm
but
Well, he was so happy that somebody wanted to talk to him about Caveman, which he directed. And he's like, nobody ever asked about that. And I said, well, I kind of want to ask you about that because I had some questions. So I had a good chat with him.
yeah,
Yep. Never did get Susan on here, unfortunately, and never got to meet her. But you did have a fantastic cast in that movie. Talked about Richard Dreyfuss, and um, had I met him, I was going to do a "What about Bob" joke on him. That's like something. Well, yeah, but what about Bob?
well, they didn't want to spend too much money. It was gonna supposed to be like 2.5 million, 3 million bucks, and that's why Spielberg was brand new, a cheap director, and it's basically they said they want to have a lot of people from the area, so it looked like local people. It's not people they brought in for all those scenes, but they also were trying to do it cheap. So they brought in Robert Shaw, Roy Schneider, Richard Dreyfuss. That's where the money, and the rest was pretty much people from around the area or Susan. They flew her in because she did a lot of scenes in movies where they did some dragging her all over the place. But so basically, when you think about it, it's a lot of people like in the credits, like you have the sheriff's kids, the older one, his name was Chris Abella. We were the same age. And he always laughed, goes, "Oh, I make more than you because I don't die so quickly." Or the little guy, Jay Mello, do you know the Muffin Man? He lived in town. So it's like, and we thought it was funny. We got paid. We never knew about royalties. Like the first time it came on TV, it's like, whoa, what the hell is this? It's like, but it was so, but like over the years, it's 50 years old. So what was it? 5 years ago, there was a big signing over in England. They go, the 45th anniversary. They go, we have a lot of there's only 7 people still alive with their name in the credits of Jaws. And we have 5 people from Jaws doing the signing at the 45th. Can we count on you? I said, I'll definitely do it. And they gave me the airline tickets. I had everything I needed. And they called back a month later. They go, "Oh, they're canceling it. Sorry, we really apologize. Do whatever you want with the airline tickets, use the credit." Because COVID, you couldn't leave the country. And
Wow.
so they canceled it. And these people are crazy. The ones running are like, the next big one will be the 50th. And they're like, you're the youngest one to die in that movie. Who knows? You might be the only one around. It's like, and unfortunately, since then, my dear mother in the movie, Lee Farrow, she passed away. Susan, there's only 5 people now with the name in the credits because the sheriff's oldest son, he was a great guy, Chris Ribello. and he had a heart attack when he was like 47. That was years ago.
Oh,
So there's only five people still alive with a name in the credits. That's
the woman that played your mom, did she ever do any of the signings?
no, she was I did some like when Obama was on the island, Good Morning America. I did we were on they did a showing on that. I had to do an interview with her, but she
Okay.
never did those. People would always come up to her and ask him to slap him in the face. She goes, I'd be walking in New York and somebody would walk up to me and say, Hey, here's $50. Can you slap me in the face like in the movie? And she said, like, after 10 years, I said, I'm not going to do it anymore. She stopped slapping. People would show up at her house because she had a house on the island too. And someone would be at the house, and I go, any chance you could, a guy has a camera, can you slap us in the face and we could film it? And so she finally said, I'm not doing it anymore. And then during that Good Morning America, we're doing an interview, and she was talking about that, how people would always ask me to slap. And then when I was talking, I go, okay, this is right near the end. I go, I'm going to ask you a personal question there, Mom, well, in the movie. You got to do me a favor. You got to slap me in the face. I want to be the last one you slapped in the face. And she's like, what? And then the guy behind the camera is like shaking his head, yes. And she goes, what? I go, come on, Mom, in the movie, you got to slap me once. And she gave me a little tap. And I go, no, it's got to be like in the movie. And bam, she got me good. And that's where when we're done filming it, I go to the guy running. I go, so that's gonna be on the show tomorrow? He goes, oh, we got like 2.5 minutes and we have over 6 minutes. So they got to cut a lot of it out. That part probably won't be on there. My face was numb. I go, all that for nothing. They go, it'll be on the website, but she was a sweetie because slapping people, that scene, like that's something else that scene people remember a lot, but Spielberg and the regular, I mean, the book that came out is nothing like the movie. You know,
Hmm.
in the book, there's some mafia in there, and oh, Quint's having an affair with Brody's wife, or all these things, and they cut all that stuff out. So they were rewriting a lot. And the scene where she slaps the sheriff in the face, that wasn't in the script. The script, they got found her and said she's perfect for this, sweet little lady. And they go, well, here's this, she's done plays in Broadway. And she looks at, they go, we'll hire you for this. It's a big part. And she's looking through it. And they go, give us an answer tomorrow. She took the script home and she comes back and drops it down. She goes, I can't do this. Because in the script, she's supposed to go down there and start swearing. You effing knew about this. You knew about this, down with the sharks hanging up. And they're like, she's like, I'm not going to swear. I just can't do it. I'm sorry. And she drops it on the table. And that's where Spielberg and those guys are like, she's perfect for this. And they go, let us do something. Let's rewrite it. And she goes, what? It's like, so instead of swearing, she slaps the sheriff in the face. And at first, and she's such a sweetie. The first time they try it, she comes down, they go, oh, Roy Snyder, he was a boxer for years. And he goes, make this look real. Come down and slap me good, just really hard. I'm used to this. Let's get it done, make it look really good. So she comes down the first time, bam, slaps him and hit so hard, went up and his glasses were spinning off. And she's such a sweet lady. She's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. Are you okay? Roy, are you okay? And then Spielberg's like, oh my God, that was perfect. We're gonna have to redo it because of that. Because she was like, oh Roy, I'm sorry. So they did it again, and again, it took 17 times of her slapping him in the face. It's like, so little things like that, or where the shark's hanging up, don't cut it open, the kitten or
Yeah.
boy. They flew that. At first, they were going to get a shark here. They go, yeah, we'll get a shark up on Martha's Vineyard. And they didn't realize those sharks come from Florida, and they're not here until like July. So they brought one all the way up from Florida, and it was hanging up just in town. And if the wind's blowing that way in the spring, you could smell it. It was up there for weeks, and it stunk so bad, and it was pissing off a lot of the locals. And that's where, we'd be in school one day and you could smell that thing rotting. And you had a lot of local fishermen. They have a place way out of town where they dump the carcasses of codfish and shellfish because it stinks. So they move it all out of town. And a bunch of local fishermen were getting so pissed. That thing smelled so bad. So one night they went to Spielberg's house that he was renting and dumped all these codfish carcasses all over his front yard. So it's payback time. It's like, So little things like that. It's just funny. It's things that you don't
Oh,
hear about until you, or that don't cut it open, the Kinder Boy. And when that license plate that you see,
oh yeah.
but you know what it says on there? You know that license plate? Louisiana 007 dash, and then on the bottom it said 7374 Louisiana. And you know what's in Louisiana that year? Um, Spielberg was always he always wanted to do a James Bond movie. And so he put that license plate together. That they were filming a James Bond movie in 72 and 73 that same year in Louisiana. So he and in the plate it says 007, and then up top is something else about the movie they were making, and then the year they're making it down there. So that license plate, all to do with the James Bond movie they were making that summer.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. You know what? It's interesting because Roy Scheider, of course, the following year you mentioned boxing. Um, the following year he was in Marathon Man, where he had an intense fight in that movie, you know? Um, so what were your memories of Roy Scheider?
Well, he was one that, like, I got to know Richard and Susan. Oh, lots of these actors that they would do these signings. So I met him up. I used to hide from it for years. My mother in the movie saw her a lot. Kraber would see him occasionally because his family still had a house on the island. But Roy Scheider, he was one that, didn't really know him because, you know, Spielberg felt bad for all these little kids. They were freezing their little asses off in the water. And he goes, you know what? Let's have some cookouts and baseball games. So that over near the school, it's a small town. They go, we're gonna have a cookout later, baseball game. Come on over. He's telling all the kids. So we live just down the street. It's like, oh, let's go check it out. And you're going down there and you're out there with Roy Schneider, Richard Dreyfuss, the cameraman playing baseball. It's fun. You're just a 12-year-old kid. And then we go over to get some food near this grill. And the guy cooking the food, we go, there's some guy sitting far away from everyone. He had some drink in his hand or something. And we go, who's that guy over there? He's not over here playing ball or having a hot dog. And they go, oh, he's a big actor. And we're like, what? They go, oh, that's Robert Shaw. And it's like, we don't know who Robert Shaw is. We're little kids. And we go, oh, let's go say hi to him because all the other actors are being really nice. And we get near him. And before you can get to him, you can smell booze. And it's like, and we get over, hey, how's it going, Mr. Shaw? And before first things that come, he sounded just like in the movie. Ah, get away from me, you little shits. He wanted nothing. He's like, yeah, little shits, get away from me. And he wanted nothing to do with kids. And it's like, oh, you call us little shit. So it's a small town. So they'd be reading these scripts all the time. In May, it's so slow. They'd be walking down the streets reading scripts. And we'd be in between the buildings going, here comes that guy that called us little shit. So we pop out from the alley. Mr. Shaw, how you doing? And he quickly looks over. And before he says anything, you just run back down the alley. It's like, oh, you're going to call us little shits? We're going to be a pain in your ass. It's like, so it's fun. It was
Oh,
lots of little things with fun making it.
oh wow. Yeah, very, very intense on the boat. One of my favorite scenes was this just before he t tells the story about the war and the sharks eating everybody, and he survived. He was one of the survivors. What a great scene. But one of the things I liked about that scene outside that is it takes away the tension because, Robert Shaw's character was confrontational, very confident in what he did, what he was doing. And you get no doubt that, Quint is worth the money to catch the shark. But I love the scene because you got to see Quint and Hooper, the Richard Dreyfuss character, finally connect on a positive way. And then Sheriff Brody joining in. You get this where there was so much tension
And
You
they
got
finally
these.
crack a bottle open together, and they're
I
finally,
like that
yeah.
scene, you know. It was great,
That's a
and
lot of that's in that play. The shark is broken. I'm not sure if you've seen it.
I haven't no.
Whole thing is in the orca, and that's them drinking in there and how the shark and it was shark's broken. They're in that. That's the whole play. It's in the orca where the scene where they're opening a bottle and they're starting to get along more. But that's why I didn't know what that play was about, but I ended up it was pretty good. I like it. It's all in the orca what you're talking about, where they got to know each other finally and cracking open a bottle of Jim Beam or whatever it was.
Of course, Lorraine Gary played Brody's wife, um, and of course Murray Hamilton playing the mayor. Uh,
Oh yeah, but yeah, there's not many big actors in that. I think there's like 15 or so characters in the end on the when they're having all the actors' names on the end, and I think I'm like one right near the bottom. It's like, but it was funny because he joined SAG. Oh, there's my name right on the bottom, and the kid with the fake fin, for some reason he got screwed because oh, he never got a royalty check, and they didn't make him join the union, and he only got $40 a day. I guess since he just says he made me do it, they didn't make him join the union. So I always see him occasionally. I always laugh. I go, "Oh, Jaws is on TV. I'll go get my check." They're not much anymore, but he's like always like, "Oh, God damn, I never got a penny for that." It's like, people come do interviews and they find him and we're talking to him. I did one this year with some documentary. I go, yeah, because he goes, yeah, he's in Key West. He'll be back pretty soon. And so they got a hold of me, and I said, yeah, I'll do it pretty cheap because it's the 50th. And they paid me for an interview. And I saw this guy. I go, so yeah, I did it. You go, did you do an interview with him? I go, yeah, it's only like a half hour. I go, you did one too. I go, yeah. I go, how much did they give you? And he's like, what are you talking about? I go, they didn't give you any money? And he's like, they didn't pay him. I think since I was in the union, people, they know that and that's why I used to always, you know, I'll do documentaries or talk shows and stuff because I always mention the websites and things like that. But like a documentary that we were just doing this year, and it's mainly about me. It's like usually I've done them with Richard Dreyfuss. I mean, Roy Schneider, Richard Dreyfuss. Once they do documentaries on Jaws, and I'm in it a little, but this one is like it's not out yet. But they were here for 3 weeks, and I agree with these guys. And it's not just Jaws. It's like how's this little kid that's in a movie for 1 minute, 50 years later, known all over the. I'll be in England, you're eating or having a drink at a bar, and people are like, "There's Alex Kintner." It's like, and the whole this documentary is like, how's this guy in a movie? How did his name, people know him all over the world just for being in a movie 1 minute. That's how big Jaws is. And it was funny because he was like, the beginning, the scene where I go out on the raft swimming
yeah.
out. Um, he's like, oh, for the documentary, we got to have, can you, where is that scene? I'm just trying to pull it up here. Yeah, that scene there.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
And, and he goes, for the end of the documentary, we want to redo you 50 years later. We have the red shorts and a raft for you. Can you swim out? So there it is, 50 years later. So in the beginning of this documentary, they show a little 12-year-old kid swimming on a raft, and then a 60-year-old swimming down on the same raft. It's like, but no, you get some crazy Jaws people. It's like I never did signings, and people would. Oh, the one over in Manchester in England, the security comes up and goes, "Hey, we want to give you a heads up. If there's anyone crazy waiting in line, we always warn people." I go, "What are you talking about?" They go, "No, this guy got here at 2 in the morning. He wants to be first one in your line." I'm like, I don't think it's me. I go, it's someone else. I'm not a real actor. He goes, no, he said your name, Jeff Voorhees, Alex Kintner. It's like, and this guy had Jaws tattoos all over his body,
Oh wow.
and the shark is biting his knee, and his kneecap, there's nothing on in the shark's mouth. And he wanted me to sign on the kneecap inside the shark's mouth. And he was so nervous. I signed his knee, and the last day, he was the last one in line on Sunday. I go to the security. I go, isn't that the guy who was here the first day? They go, yeah, that's him. And he comes up. I go, did you want a photo too? You forget something? You were here day one. He goes, I was so nervous when you signed it. When I got to the tattoo place, it sweated off. Any chance you could re-sign it? It's like, oh God, I'll re-sign your knee for you. It's like, and that was like the first tattoo, my autograph. Oh, one girl in New York, the one that you've been to, she pulls her shirt up. She wanted me to sign under the breast. And she had the Jaws logo. And the security's like, no private parts. And she's like, I got all the Jaws stuff here. What? And so I ended up signing right up. She's like, how close? And the guy's like, he'll sign under your collarbone. So I signed right under her collarbone. And it's like, I used to keep track of it. I think it's over 25 times a 12-year-old kid's autograph is tattooed on people's bodies all over the world. I've signed so many people like, oh, down in England, Germany, someone did it. It's like, and they get it tattooed. They go in tattoo over your signature. It's like, oh my God. I'm in a movie for 1 minute. My name's tattooed all, over 25 bodies over the world.
The first time I ever heard of that is when I had Caroline Monroe on here in 2016, and she was the first one that told me that somebody had tattooed her signature on themselves, and I find that fascinating. That kind of hooks on to my next question. What's the most unique thing you've ever been presented to sign?
Oh, it's crazy when you do some of the one in New York that you've been at.
Hmm.
Uh, Someone comes up, and that's just when I first started doing these signings. I hid from it for years, and then finally I tried it. It's like I'll do a few a year. Why not? And a guy waiting, he had the actual one of the yellow barrels, and he was it's heavy. I go, he's like, you're one of the only people that haven't signed it with people that cameraman, Spielberg. It was signed by almost everyone. He's like, you're one of the only ones that haven't signed it. I go, yeah, I've been hiding from this for a while, so I signed it. And I go, are you gonna go put that back in your car now? He's like, no, somebody will steal it. He was so nervous and he carried it around the whole day. And then a little later, someone else comes up in line and he had a briefcase with a chain handcuffed to his arm. And he does the combination and opens the brief. And he had a piece of the raft that floats up on the beach. And he wanted me to sign the raft but it was all locked up in a briefcase. It's like, oh my God. And other people, this one, and oh, I think it was the same in New York, but the next year it's guy made Jaws coins and he wanted me to sign a little coin for him that he made. Or someone else came in. There's one, I think it was in Kentucky. There was like a guy had these little one of the vendors was selling a little jar so small with sand in it with the Jaws logo around this little jar. And he comes up at the end. People would buy those. I think they were like $70. And then they come over and pay Richard to sign it, $100, pay me $50. And I felt bad. I'm trying to sign on this tiny little jar of the actual sand where they filmed the movie Jaws. And who knows? It could be sand from Florida for all you know. And the vendor comes up at the end. He goes, I'm going to give you one of these. And I go, what? He goes, this is the actual sand where they filmed that scene. I go, no, I'm all set. I don't need it. He goes, no, this sand where your film where you got eaten by the shark, this is the actual sand where they filmed that. You don't have to pay for it. I'm going to give it to you. I go, no, I'm good. He goes, no, that's it. And he kept going. I go, okay, thank you very much. I go, and I'm holding this little thing. I go, this actual sand? I go, I run two large dogs on this actual beach every day, and it's a Saint Bernard and a Newfoundland, two big hairy dogs. I go, I vacuum this much actual sand out of my car once a week, but thank you. And it's like, but it's like the actual sand. It's like people are shocked when they realize I still live here. Or you know what a cameo is?
Yep.
People like that because some people you see them, the people that run it in Chicago, they
Hmm.
like it because you go down to the beach where you were eating. Because I run my dog down there, so I had one the other day. Oh, someone sells 50th birthday. Can you wish him happy birthday? It's like, here's where I was eating 50 years ago. Happy birthday from your wife and from me. And because I never did those, but I'd be off island and someone come all the way from England and oh, we wanted to meet up with him. And the people in the restaurant are like, he's gone for a week. We came down just for that. And the people I signed with, they go, do the cameos if you're not there. So you get some odd ones. got back from Key West back in April, and it goes, "Oh, our son's the biggest Jaws fan on the face of the earth. His birthday's April 10th. Can you wish him a happy birthday from his wife, I mean, his parents, Tim and Carol, and mention your name, Jeff Voorhees, Alex Kintner. He's the biggest Jaws fan. He'll never forget this. It's going to be the best birthday present. He's going to be one." And it's like, wait a minute, he's going to be one. I think this is for the parents. A 1-year-old kid. He's the biggest Jaws fan on the face of the earth. It's like, but last year there was a real odd one. It goes, "Oh, our father was a big Jaws fan, but he died watching the movie on the couch. Can you send your regrets?" It's like, what the hell? And it's like, and I call the people in Chicago. I go, "What is this?" And he's like, "Ah, you get some odd ones." He goes, "You don't have to answer it. If you don't answer it in 3 days, they get their money back." And I run my dogs on that beach and I go, what the hell? I'll give it a shot. And you're holding your phone up. And I'm like, I go, "Hey, your father and I had a little something in common. He died watching me die. This is the dead Alex Kintner, Jeff Voorhees here on Martha's Vineyard, Amity Island. Have a jawsome funeral." And I'm thinking, oh God, have a jawsome funeral. I'm thinking these guys are going to be pissed. And you got to think 5 stars. Thank you so much. It's like, oh my God.
What's it like all these years later, still being on that island? And I know you said that you make a lot of moolah doing the signings for Jaws. Like Jaws has been a big thing for you, but also that island. Like I think Sean Clark had done locations video for Jaws, and you're still there, you know. Talk about that.
No, it's crazy. Since the internet came around, I mean, we got to the island, people came down here because Ted Kennedy, the Dyke Bridge. And, but now in the summer, there's so many Jaws tours and like the people that one of the tours, they would always go by our restaurant and say, "Alex Kinder's in there. This is his restaurant." And there's pictures of me dying all over the wall. And I got out of the business like 3 years ago. And people would always come in and they go, "Oh, is Alex Kinder here?" And the bartender, "Yeah, he might be here tonight. He might not." And then finally, the lady that ran this one tour, one of them, she found out that I wasn't working anymore. And she got a hold of me in Key West 2 years ago. She goes, "Jeff, we heard you're not working. You kind of retired," you said. I go, "Yeah, I had enough. I'm not doing it anymore." And restaurant business, I still do some other stuff, but I go, I'm done with that. And they go, "Oh, well, any chance you can do some tours with us? We'll charge extra. We'll make it worth your while." And I go, "What are you talking about?" She's like, "Maybe 5 days a week you can do some tours with us." And I go, "I'm retired, meaning I'm not working." And so I finally said, "I'll do once a week." And so people pay extra and I go on the tours. And the guy that does the tours usually he drives and he knows all the stats. He's like, "Okay, they had this much money to spend making the movie," and he tells all the details. And people like it because I'll be going, "Oh, and here's this house we're driving by. Here's the house I lived in when I died. Here's where they used to have baseball games and cookouts, with Richard Drive." You tell them all these backstories, or here's where we broke in and climbed all over the shark. So I said I'd do it once a week in the summer. So it makes some people happy. And I bring some photos along. And if somebody wants one signed, the websites and stuff, they're like $40. And I'd say, "You already paid for the tour. I'll sign it for $20 or something for you." And people are all psyched. So it makes some people really happy. So, I'll do it once a week. I'm not working. I got some extra time now. So why not? And it's fun. You make some people so happy. So you make a few bucks, you make some people happy. Why not?
It's funny. Jaws, I think, was nominated for 4 Academy Awards, and I think it won 3. No, but they never nominated Spielberg for that movie. And I find it funny because, Spielberg, won he won for Schindler's List, deservingly so, but he also did Jurassic Park the same year. And it's like they weren't taking Jurassic Park as seriously. And then, of course, in 1998, he wins for Saving Private Ryan. And, would be the The Lost World the year before. They weren't, of course, I wasn't taking that one seriously either, but still, uh, I don't understand how they could overlook Spielberg for director of this movie. Spielberg, in many ways, uh, changed the economics of Hollywood with this movie. Because
Yes.
now that started the summer blockbuster, which we're still doing now.
Well, that's where, that was his right when he got exploded. He was since then, you know, Star Wars, like you're saying, Raiders of the Lost Ark. It goes on and on.
Yeah.
One of his first big movies, so you don't expect some young, they always give it to the people that have been around a little bit. That's probably why he didn't get it for Jaws.
Well, whether he won or not, I can't believe they didn't nominate him because it's like, what an achievement to do this movie, you know? So I don't know. I'm just nitpicking there, but still, great job on his part, you know? But anyway, when you were in Niagara Falls, did you take that raft out on the falls, or did you feel that Bruce the shark would follow you on the falls? Do you think the shark would dare?
Well, I gave it a try. I was getting close to the edge of I'm a little lighter and, you know, I was out, I've been on a raft a lot now since I was a little kid. So I swam right near the falls near Niagara Falls. And Bruce, the shark, was right on my butt. And all of a sudden, right when he was going, he got sucked over the falls, went down. I swam away, payback. I survived Niagara Falls.
There you go. There you go. And it's interesting too because 3 years later, of course, Joe Dante did Piranha, which had very was almost like a parody of Jaws, but done very well because it's Joe Dante. But I found interesting when they did Piranha 3D, I think it was, they had Richard Dreyfuss in the opening scene. And the boat there, of course, there was a major nod to Jaws, and they had Richard Dreyfuss in there being circled by the piranhas.
Well, Richard, he's a funny guy. I like Richard. I've seen him,
Yeah,
got to know him.
I wonder if they're eventually going to give him to Niagara Falls or whether they're going to give up on him.
I don't know. We'll see. But I'm about to head down to the beach where I was eating and run a St. Bernard now before it gets too dark.
Yeah, well, I want to ask though, before you go about Carla Hogendick, because she was the one that yelled shark, and she didn't make it to Frightmare in the Falls either. I was kind of looking forward to seeing her,
Well,
because she had.
I just met her. They got her to come down and do the one here.
Hmm.
And because she's never done signings either. And then the guy Matt that I signed with Richard, he got the two kids with the fake fin, and they got Carla too. And she went down to Florida, and I was talking to them. I go, yeah, these are good. They've never really done. I go, yeah, they bring the photos for you. You just sign photos, you make a couple bucks, and you go all over the place. And they're like, this is really easy. And they made a few bucks, so they're like, she really liked it. And I go, yeah, I have a website too, and I make some money on that. And she's like, oh my God, she's like, this is good because her husband, they were down in Florida, they were on the island. I go, yeah, I do like three a year at least. They'd fly you there, you have a good time. And she was looking forward to doing it, but she was, I guess, paranoid that the flights weren't going to go because of
Yeah,
the government on strike over here. But
yeah.
Richard didn't show, so that was not very good. So
Well, there's still four of you that made it, and I think everybody enjoyed that, and I wanted to also ask, what did your parents think of this movie?
we were just little kids. We just moved to the island that year, and back then my mother was working and we signed up. I said, yeah, I'm gonna be in a movie. And they drop kids off at the beach and we run around watching them film the movie in Edgartown. It's a small place. So it's like she didn't really even know about the movie that much. But like the first time it came on TV, I got a check, but anytime I got one, she got one. And it's like, wait a minute. It's like, and 20 years later, after I'm in college and stuff, it's like come on, you bitch, you got to give me that check. I'm in the movie. She's like, nope, I'm keeping it. It's like, but it was just funny because it's not like she followed you around. It's a small island. It's like, and like, oh yeah, you see her that night. Yeah, we had to go in that water. It was freezing cold. I was on the raft. It's like, and that was about it. It was like no big deal. It's like it was just my mother, but my brother, my sister, they were both in the movie too. And my brother, every time I would get, people would send photographs for years, and I signed them and mail them back in the 80s and stuff. And then the internet came around. And I noticed some things I would sign. You look on the websites and people are selling things that I mailed. I'm like, oh my God, I'm not doing this anymore.
I
And
never do that. One of the things I have told Lisa, and um, I would instruct people is if you can personalize the autograph, like sign it to them, because it's less likely they're able to sell it. And
well, well, that's what I usually write to someone, but that's when I finally said, okay, I'm not mailing them back anymore. And then my brother would come back because he wasn't on the island. He see these, he goes, you got to mail these back. These are a bunch of your fans. I go, I'm not mailing. And he's like, he starts writing his name, Edward Voorhees. He signed it and he circled a little kid next to me in the picture. And that was him. He goes, okay, Edward Voorhees, this is Alex Kintner's brother. Here I am and he circled the little kid on the beach. He goes, here's my autograph, and he mailed it back. And what are they going to do? No, we wanted Alex Kintner's autograph. It's like, so he mailed them all back, signing his name.
oh well, it works, you know. It
Uh,
works.
he was in it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, do you want to plug your website on here before you go?
The Dead. Well, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah, just tell people what it is.
Oh,
www
you
dot.
go to the the website. It's the deadalexkintner.com. And that's
There you
where
go.
he's,
Oh, there you got it.
can you see that?
Yep. www.thedeadalexkintner.com.
All one word, small letters. And it's, rafts and it's just funny. Some people at Christmas time, last year, I don't think there's like 25 rafts you mailed all over the world. People are like, oh, and people have like Jaws rooms and stuff. And you get some wives. I got to get this for my husband. He's a Jaws nut. There's only one room we allow him to have all his Jaws stuff. And they sent a picture back and he has it up on the ceiling because he has Jaws stuff all over the walls and the raft's right above. You look up where I signed the raft. It's like, it's funny. It's like some people get real psyched. But you mail those things all over the world. Or if you hear your phone beeping at 4 in the morning, it's like, oh, a cameo. I don't look, but if I hear my phone, I always hear it. And you hear a beep at 4 in the morning. It's like, okay, you look the next day, it's like someone from England probably. You look at it, cameo request, someone in England's birthday. It's like, but it's crazy with the internet nowadays. Just mailed a raft to Australia, one to Japan, photos over to England. It's like you mail them all over the world. It's like, so you make some people happy, so why not? And travel around. So, I always laugh. It pays to die.
Well, I'm going to say it was an honor to have you on here today to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Jaws. And it was an honor to meet you at Frightmare in the Falls,
Well,
this awesome autograph.
I've been dead for 50 years.
There you go. There you go.
And then, oh God.
Before I let you go, would you mind doing a plug for my show?
Sure.
Just state your name and that we're celebrating the 50th anniversary of Jaws, and say you're listening to Greg Gilbert on Python's Paradise.
So this is Greg Gilbert's on Paradise.
Python's Paradise.
Python's Paradise. Greg Wilson on Python's Paradise. And this here is, well, someone that's been dead for 50 years. It's been great talking to you guys and on this website. I've been dead for 50 years. But I still live on Martha's Vineyard, Amity Island. It's great talking to all you people. I'm about to go run a dog on the beach where I got eaten 50 years ago. So I just want to say, everyone out there on this show, just everyone have a jawsome evening coming up. I wanted Toronto to win that World Series, but unfortunately, LA won it. Didn't want that. I was going for Toronto on that one. My dear sis, my niece goes to college up in Toronto, so like Canada. That's why I like it up there.
Oh, we appreciate your love for our country, you know. I enjoyed it when I went to the US for that too, you know, and I'd like to do it again. It's hard to get out to. I, I I usually book about a couple vacations a year, so but I was happy to have done Frightener in the Falls and get out to the States. And I know that I've had people ask me to go to these other ones, and I'm like, yeah. Have you trained your dog to take down Bruce the Shark yet?
She's too big. It's like a friend of mine, they have a dog. The dog's name's Amity.
Hmm.
And I have a Saint Bernard that's kind of big, but when my dog's next to Amity, it's our bartender's dog. It's a English Mastiff, and my Saint Bernard looks like a little dog next to that one. It's like that weighs over 200 pounds, but the dog's name's Amity. That's funny. I thought it's like big dog named Amity, but I run my dog. I'll be running a dog where I got eaten on that beach in about 15 minutes from now.
There you go. Well, Jeffrey, thank you so much for coming on here today and gracing me with your presence. And it was such an honor. And yeah, 50 years of Jaws. I did see it twice in the theaters this year, you know. So yeah, I was happy to see that up on the big screen. And yeah, anytime it plays, I like to catch it. So
You like watching me die. That doesn't sound too good.
well, you know, if you had stayed on the beach because of your pruny fingers and all that stuff, you know, you gotta listen to your mom.
No, I just don't celebrate Mother's Day anymore. She let me go back in. Unfortunately, I died because of that. I can't say thank you, Mom, because I'm dead. Like,
Well, Jeffrey, you have fun with your dog, and I'm just here with my cat. So there you go.
okay, well, enjoy the rest of the day up there, and I'll enjoy it down here. And good luck with your show there.
Absolutely, and hopefully we'll see you at another convention in the near future.
Sounds good. You have a great day.
Take care and God bless.
Oh, you too. We'll talk to you.
Bye bye.
Bye.